The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. We have pitched camp in Kiambu region, and of course we are talking about the SDGs. I am your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Our motion today is the Lamu coal plant project should be abandoned as it is a threat to tourism and the environment. We have Mary Leakey girls going against St. Francis Mangu girls. Mariam, do you think they can hack it?
It's a battle of the wits, Austin. We'll find out in just a second. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
I have decided to be bold and not the same old. Sarah Kwanch from the Mary Leakey Girls High School strongly proposing the motion that states the Lamu coal project should be abandoned, and I repeat, abandoned, as it is a major threat to tourism and the environment. First and foremost, we need to know what all this motion is all about. And Now, Lamu is one of the 47 counties of Kenya, and it covers approximately 6,273 kilometers squared, and it is known as a heritage county because of its cultural activities. For example, we have the dolphins in Lamu, and we have so many things in Lamu. Now, a major threat. This is a possible catastrophe, a possible disaster that is going to cause more than harm to this country. And the environment, this is the natural fauna and flora of the country. So in short, we are saying that the Lamu coal project should be done with, as it is a major possible catastrophe to tourism and the environment. Now, the project was initiated in the year 2014 by the government itself because it wanted to have alternatives for the production of electricity. And the Lamu project is supposed to produce 1,050 megawatts of electricity. As we all know, Lamu County is under the jurisdiction of Governor Isa Timami. And according to the people of Lamu County, they do not want this project to take place because this project will bring more harm than good. This project is going to cause Lamu County to have bad things that will happen to it. We all know that the coal plant is going to emit carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. And when these two get into the air, they're going to cause global warming. And we all know that global warming is the rise in temperatures. And when there's global warming in the land, this is going to affect us so much because it's going to lead to diseases. It's going to lead to diseases such as, for example, we have cancer, we have asthma, and other major diseases. You know, prevention is better than cure. Why should we use coal when we have other alternatives? For example, we have solar energy, which can produce electricity in this country. We all know that the country produces approximately 2,300 megawatts of electricity, and only 1,600 megawatts is used in an year. So, you see, this project, it's not safe for us as Kenyans. This project is going to harm our tourist sector because we all know that tourism is moving from your own country to other countries for leisure or for pleasure. And when I say tourism, I'm not limiting it to international tourism because there's also local tourism. Thank you.
St. Francis girls will hear your opening statement. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Lena Kerubo from St. Francis Girls High School, Mangu, opposing the motion that the Lamu coal plant project should be abandoned as it is a major threat to tourism and environment. I must say, a common mind thinks about tomorrow. But what about a learned mind? A learned mind thinks 3 generations to come. On to my points. Where do we need this Lamu coal plant project? 1, the coal plant provides most stable and reliable source of energy, in that the project will generate a gross power of 1,050 megawatts, which will be the most cost-effective and cost-efficient power plant in the country. It is cheap compared to other sources of energy, such as the geothermal and the hydrothermal, and also the wind power. In that, it will cost 1.9 million US dollars, as compared to the geothermal, which will cost 3 million US dollars, and also for the wind power, which will cost 3 to 3.5 million dollars of US. On the issue of tourism, you see, this coal plant is going to be built in that there's going to be a 210-meter tall structure built smokestack. And this will be the first ever coal plant in East Africa, remember? It will also be the tallest structure in East Africa, which is going to be a tourist attraction site. And what happens? The tourist industry, the tourism industry is going to be thriving. And though the coal power plant project is going to emit gases such as the sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide gas, the Lamu Power Project will make use of the state-of-art technology to reduce emission levels of these gases. How? There will be properly engineered ash yards, which are going to receive bottom ash and fly ash, which is also going to produce gypsum. And gypsum, remember, is also used to manufacture cement. And in the process, the construction industry is also going to be thriving. And also, this coal power plant is going to have a minimal impact on the beautiful mangrove forest. But these plants, there are plants which are going to be made to grow tree seedlings, which will be used in the afforestation exercises in the general Lamu. The Lamu Coal Project should not be abandoned, as it is a major threat to tourism and environment. We have actions which have been put in place on issues of environment. We can mix this sulfur oxide with lime, which is going to produce gypsum, and this gypsum is going to be used in the manufacture of cement. Thank you.
Thank you. We're ready to hear cross-examinations now. Mary Leakey, you have 3 minutes.
La vie n'a pas de brillant. This is a French saying that says, life is not a dress rehearsal, my friends. The Lamu coal plant project should be abandoned as it is a major threat to tourism and environment. Second speaker, Mary Leakey Girls High School, Mino Omboy. First point to note, we are not sourcing this coal, first of all, from our country. We are going to incur costs importing this coal from South Africa and Zimbabwe. My friends, people have turned away, people like China. China is the major producer of coal in the world. And you know what? They're turning away from it. They're giving up 61% of their energy, which comes from thermal power, which is powered by coal. They're giving that up because they have found, you know what? We cannot sustain coal, but coal can sustain us. And this is such an expensive process, my friends. Now, when you're talking about that it should not be abandoned, I believe you have looked at the effects of coal. The US, for example, has 40,000 cases of black lung infections annually reported. People do not want to go back to the mines. People do not want that. And that's why you can see Donald Trump is called a pro-coal activist. No one wants to risk their life for energy. I mean, I can still get energy from healthier sources. I have the wind. I have the sun. I have water. I have geothermal. Point to note, funny thing, Kenya has 10,000 megawatts worth of energy untapped from what? Geothermal. And you want to tell me that 1,050 megawatts is going to make a huge difference to your national grid? Have you even developed yourselves enough to handle these things? Have you even taken the abrupt measure? This thing is going to be opened. It's going to be inaugurated this month. And do you think we're ready for coal? Do you think we're ready for the health effects that come with it? Tourism is a major industry in our country. It earns the country 8.6 billion shillings annually. And you want to risk that? Do you want to risk 8.6 billion shillings for 1,050 megawatts that you're not even producing, 1,050 megawatts plus the medical expenses you're going to take. Are you ready for that? If China itself has taken a step back and said, whoa, hold on, I think we cannot sustain this anymore. We need cleaner sources of energy. Do you think as a developing nation, and I am not undermining our country, do you think that as a developing nation, do you think we're ready for this? Do you think, my friends? Are we ready for this? I don't think we are. Not yet. It is proven that by 2020, solar electricity will be cheaper than coal. And another thing to note is coal is a non-renewable source of energy. It might be natural, but it's non-renewable. Once you deplete it, you cannot get it back, you cannot regenerate it. You have to know how to manage the waste. It comes with a lot of work, a lot of responsibilities. So let us make do with what we have. Let's use the geothermal God has blessed us with. All Carrier 4 is ours to keep. Make use of that. Don't rush to what you cannot handle. Thank you.
St. Francis, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
All our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Bernadette Kideu, St. Francis Mangu, opposing the motion that the Lamu coal plant should be abandoned as it is a major threat to environment and tourism. First and foremost, they claim we are not ready. Let me tell you one thing, tomorrow never comes. We'll never be ready. If we are not ready tomorrow, we'll never be ready. First, if you people were keen, you will notice that the solutions being given by my opponents are all making us as a country prisoners of weather, water, rainwater, geothermal. All these things make us depend on something that it is not reliable. We are recently from experiencing trouble with weather. We've seen people die due to lack of rain, and do you want us as a country put all our eggs in one basket that we cannot foresee or foretell what will happen tomorrow? This is why I am here to tell you of a better solution: coal. Coal is in the country. Yes, for now we will import, I agree. But this is something that will be sustained. And as we are talking today, it's about sustainable development. We import today, we learn, we go out there, use ours tomorrow. So first thing, unlike geothermal and hydroelectric power, coal does not need weather or anything. If you have coal in the country, you have coal in the country. No one can take that away from you. That's one. Tourism. We all want to go visit a place that is well developed with infrastructure. And if this Lamu power project is put up, it is deemed to inject 40 billion to the Lamu economy. That is one. This 40 billion will be used to do things like build infrastructure in Lamu, our roads, security, transport. This will help tourists access the old Lamu town that is rich in Arabic Swahili culture. And still people will want to see this first ever coal plant in East Africa. Many people, even governments will come seeing, wow, Kenya is moving. I want to see this. I want to be part of this development. Coal is in itself a cheaper source of energy. And this has been said before. But why I want to emphasize on this is because of one thing. Look at the long-term effect. If the government reduces the amount it spends to acquire energy, that means it may feel it necessary to reduce the taxes to us citizens because they have a cheaper option. And once they reduce the taxes, we are able to have more disposable income to acquire goods. Won't this elevate our living standards? And once our living standards are elevated, we are deemed to work hard in our professions because we'll see when you work hard and you get an output from it, we will all work hard and boost our economy. And laborers who work well and in a motivated environment will work well. And let me make one thing clear, and please listen. Unless, as a country, we are willing to take the risk and be the first in East Africa to have this project, we'll never move forward. Let us take the risk. The negatives are there, but we can mitigate their effects. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the audience for those questions. The proposers have been asked to give alternatives, alternative sources of energy to coal, seeing as hydroelectric power and geothermal power also don't seem to be sufficient. And the opposition have been asked if it is in our best interest to continue having a coal plant, even though it causes pollution and, of course, deaths of thousands of miners because of the health effects. We'll have them respond now. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Krista Wangamunene, Leakey Girls High School, proposing the motion that the Lamu coal plant project should be abandoned as it is a major threat to tourism and the environment. And to answer your question for alternatives other than geothermal, which you say is not sufficient for us, which you say because of the reducing levels of water may not be sufficient. First, to correct, geothermal energy really isn't dependent on the water levels because we get it from the ground. Then, to answer your question on the alternatives, I'll read today's paper. It's going to help me a lot. The World Economic Forum reports that the grid-scale solar power has become cheaper than coal in 30 countries in the world and will be cheaper than coal power worldwide by 2020. It also says that renewable sources of energy, namely solar energy and wind energy, have crossed the tipping point from a risky frontier technology, as she so dared to say, us being prisoners of weather, rather not being a risky frontier technology, but being a commercially viable option and an outright compelling investment opportunity. In short, we are not locked down to hydroelectric power, we're not locked down to geothermal electric power, we have wind, we have the wind energy, and we have solar energy. I hope your question is answered. Now, ambition. Ambition is an intrinsic characteristic of every single Kenyan I have ever met. And that is why I know my opposers are opposing the motion today, because they are ambitious. They see that we do need coal. But I'd like to bring you someone who believes that this is not the answer. Mr. Mia Omar, former county executive for tourism and national resources, resigned from her job a few weeks ago as a last desperate plea to stop the coal plant project. Why? Because she was part of the team Save Lamu, which realizes that the moment this coal plant project is put up, tourism in Lamu will go down by unimaginable scales. You know why? First of all, let's consider the health effects, which I'm sorry to say, I don't think most of you really understand that there is no way we can promise ourselves a brighter future with people who have less than 50 years to live because they have heart problems, because they have cancer, because of all these emissions which are being let into the atmosphere by the burning of coal for the sustainability of this plant. She says, we can rely on renewable sources of energy. Why? Because it is our one main constant that will have 0% deaths because of health-related issues and over 50% increase in having electricity produced in this country. So I don't get why we should risk losing people, losing something that has been important for us. UNESCO saw that Lamu should be a World Heritage Site, and bringing this coal plant project, realizing its effects on the people, I don't think it's going to work. Thank you.
I'm Lona Moura from St. Francis Girls High School, Mangu, here to oppose the motion that states the Lamu coal plant project should be abandoned as it is a major threat to tourism and environment. First, to answer the question, there are many ways to protect our miners. There's a method that the people who are constructing the coal plant can use. We can protect the miners from weak structures with steel bars, which will support them and make them strong enough not to collapse on our miners, because they're still our people and we still care for them. Now, why take a Panadol for somebody else's headache? You say that you are trying to save Lamu, but the Lamu citizens are saying that, why are you delaying them? Why are you delaying them to be compensated for the farm? They would like, the people in Lamu are supporting the coal plant to be constructed as they see the benefit. And you've also talked about the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The National Land Commission has made sure that the Lamu coal plant project won't affect our World Heritage Site. It will be constructed far away from it. Thus, our tourism industry won't be affected. Urbanization in Lamu will increase thanks to the coal plant project, thus leading to hotels being built up, leading to more accommodations of tourists, and thus increasing tourism industry in Lamu. The coal plant power project will pump 40 billion shillings into Lamu's economy, thus leading to deployment of security personnel who will protect their security, thus reducing insecurity in Lamu County, leading to more tourists going there. As you can all remember the case of Peketoni, we will avoid such cases because there'll be more security personnel there to protect our tourists, and our tourists don't be afraid to go there. The byproducts from the coal power plant project, for example, smoke and ash. The smoke can be mixed with lime to form gypsum, which is a common component in cement making, thus making cement cheaper, thus providing another raw material for another industry. We'll be saving our environment, reducing the time used to mine limestone, and thus we'll be saving our environment. You've talked about reducing our life expectancy. Have you done your statistics right? Take a look at India and USA. They have indulged in coal mining, but they have a life expectancy of 80 years because they have used the state-of-the-art technology in protecting their people, in protecting the environment. We Kenyans can also do that. If a superpower country did that, why can't we? We are looking forward for Vision 2030. We are aspiring to become a better Kenya, a better nation, providing more attractions for our tourists, protecting our environment, and protecting the health of our people. Please, look before you leap. Compare and do statistics right. And don't take Panadol for somebody else's headache. Thank you.
Mary Leakey will hear your final statement. You have 1 minute.
Forget location, as you so put it. After all, Kwasasi area is 21 kilometers away from Lamu Old Town. That is your argument. Principle number 4 of the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development of 1992 states, in order to achieve sustainable development, environmental protection shall constitute an integral part of the development process and cannot be considered in isolation from it. You have said that we can harness the smog to make gypsum, a constituent of cement. Tell me, how long will this take? You tell me that India and USA have so rightly have had a high life expectancy, yet they've been using high technology coal, as you put it, to paraphrase. Yet, are all these people with these life expectancies, if you've done your research well, are they the ones in the coal mines? Are they the ones burning these fuels, or are they the ones seated in their homes pursuing rather safe careers such as medicine? You know what? This is our country. This is our land. We have an alternative. Before we riddle ourselves with issues we may not be able to clear in the near future, let go. Let's take something that will ensure 100% security of the things that matter to us, tourism and the environment. Thank you.
St. Francis Mangu, you have 1 minute.
I guess I'm not the only one in this room who feels that my opponents are not actually willing to look beyond tomorrow. Look at it from this point of view, please, if you may. 1, everything in life, a wall may have a crack, but it is through that crack that the light comes in. We agree. Coal may have its negative effects, but with modern technology well put in place, this will help our country. And it is a matter of you believing and you going to get it. Yes, I agree those who make this assessment are not in the coal mines, but will we all go to the coal mines and mine? We all have this division and specialization of labor. Let those in the mines work in the mines, and the rest of us do our assessment and work for what is best for everyone. And one thing I've always learned to believe, man can succeed in anything and absolutely everything you have unlimited enthusiasm for. Why don't we all put our minds into this, move Kenya forward? I want to be part of a greater Kenya. I bet you all do. Thank you.
Mary Leakey Wamboi and St. Francis Mangu Gideu, I think you stand out for me. You're just awesome debaters. Wamboi, I took a lot of notes. You know, you gave an example of China, and your question is, if China is abandoning coal, then who are we to go that direction? I think that was quite persuasive. You talked about black lung infection. You talked about, you know, the health effects versus maybe the economic benefits. And to you, the health effects are very important, and therefore we should look at it. You have very good use of rhetorical questions and very confident. I like it when you take the stage. Security cushion, using of a pen. Just avoid it. Let your gestures be natural. Avoid holding anything. Just come out naturally. Very commendable. Munene Mary Leakey, is it? Yeah. Again, very good debater. The use of facts. You know, that was awesome. And I love the cross-examination when your opponent mentioned United States of America and talked about life expectancy. I love the cross-examination that are we sure that we are talking about the correct group of people, or we are talking about people who are not affected in any way whatsoever by coal? I think that was a very good cross-examination. And also the use of article, that was quite awesome. Gideu, 40 billion injected into the economy, cheap source of energy, tax reduction. I think good content analysis. That was quite awesome from your presentation. St. Francis, Leah again, very good presentation. I think essentially I'll be repeating what I have been saying, because the two teams have done a marvelous job, and the ability to break the motion down and make us understand. To the two teams, it was an interesting presentation. Thank you.
Members of the audience, the moment we've all been waiting for. St. Francis Girls Mangu versus Mary Leakey. St. Francis was awarded 69%. Please give them a round of applause. And the judges saw it fit to award Mary Leakey Girls High School with 74%. You're our winner for the debate.
Thank you to the ladies on stage. That was a wonderful debate. Congratulations to Mary Leakey Girls High School. Thank you to our audience and those of you at home for watching. Remember to give us your feedback, #GDC for SDGs. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.